Salve discipuli, Maggie Ricard here. Let's talk a little bit about the AP Latin exam for 2020. As we know, the exam format has changed from a 3-hour plus paper test to a 45-minute online one, where you're going to get a couple questions that you're going to be expected to respond to demonstrate your mastery of Latin. The good news is it's from 3 hours down to 45 minutes. The bad news is you're expected to demonstrate your mastery in only 45 minutes as opposed to 3 hours. So there's a plus and minus with that. The other thing to keep in mind is that, yes, and I'll talk a little bit about this in a second, it's going to be open note. So keep that in mind. That is definitely a positive for you, but may or may not be. We'll see in a second. Anyway, first thing, I want to talk about what's the content of the exam and also how you're going to test it, or the format of the exam. So let's start with the content. So the CED, or the course exam description, has several units laid out. And what they're saying that the exam is going to be on units 1 through 4, according to the course exam description of CED. What does this look like? For Virgil, that's books 1 and 2. For your boy Caesar, that's going to be books 1, 4, and 6. All right. So we're going to be reviewing these items to wrap up the year here. We're actually going to be looking at book 6 because we hadn't done that yet. The way I laid the course out, we're going to be doing that, and then we're going to move into reviewing the other parts of the readings. So anyway, the passages here for Latin for book 1, according to their unit 1 in the CED, are these passages here, lines 1 through 209, 418 to 440, and 494 to 578. And you need to know all of the English for book 1. So you need to have read book 1 in English, so you understand the context of the story there. Unit 2 is De Bello Gallico books 1 and 6. It's how they lump them together. That would be chapters 1 through 7 from book 1 of Caesar, and then chapters 13 through 20 from book 6, which we are currently looking at now in our class. The English, you need to make sure you've read book 1 in its entirety, so you understand kind of the historical background of everything going on in book 1 with the Helvetii, etc. Unit 3 is Aeneid book 2. That's a typo on my end there. And that's the Latin from 40 to 56, lines 201 to 249, 268, 297, and 559 to 620. That would be from book 2. And you should have also read the English for book 2 of the Aeneid. And then for unit 4, that is De Bello Gallico book 4. Those are the chapters 24 through 35 and the first line of 36. And that's dealing with the invasion of Britain. So that's the content, right? We've read most of this. The only thing we haven't read is book 6, which we're currently doing now. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the format of the exam. So I was digging around and I found this with some help from some other teachers in the AP thing. So again, the test date is going to be May 12th, and it's going to be for us at 12 p.m. high noon, right, Eastern time, unless you're in a different time zone, which I doubt any of you guys are right now, even though we're probably moved around a little bit. I don't know. But anywho, what is the exam time going to be? It's going to be a 45-minute exam plus, let's say, 10 minutes. All right. The reason why is because they're giving you some upload time. So you will have 25 minutes to read the first question, question 1, and then you have 5 minutes to upload it. All right. After you upload it, you move on to question 2. You have 15 minutes to respond to question 2, and then 5 minutes to upload that as well. So we're looking at 30 minutes plus 20. So 25 plus 5 is 30. 15 plus 5 is 20. So we got a 15-minute exam. So scratch that, what I told you earlier. We got 50 minutes total. All right. And you cannot go back to question 1. So once you upload, that's it. You're done. You move on to question 2. All right. So you're going to have 25 minutes plus 5. And you're going to practice all of this eventually. They're going to give you kind of a way to set up and everything and test the system to make sure your system is working. All right. So 5 to upload, 15, and then 5 again to upload. All right. Question 1 is going to be 25 minutes. That's the time you're given to answer that question. And question 2 is 15 minutes rather. The weight. Question 1 is going to weigh 70% of the exam. Question 2 is going to weigh 30%. So obviously a bulk of your result will be tied to your performance on question 1. All right. These are the format is going to be what we call the SAQs. Remember, we've done this throughout the year where you have one passage and you've got several questions that you need to answer, kind of a multiple series of questions or short answer questions that you're going to answer. So that's the format. We've done that before. So textual analysis is not going to be the thing we're going to be focusing on. It's not going to be translation either. However, I preface that by saying there obviously is an expectation that you can understand what you're reading. So let me go ahead and scroll down here and see the rest of this. All right. So when we get to the question description, this is important. So question 1 is going to, says, present students with a passage in Latin of approximately 5 to 10 lines of Virgil, right? And a passage of Latin of approximately 50 to 75 words from Caesar, right? This is from the syllabus. I'm going to abbreviate because I'm not going to try and write that with my trackpad. Syllabus readings, right? So these are ones we've already reviewed. We've reviewed all these previously in the year, right? As I mentioned from the previous segment, there are content from units 1 through 4. So each passage, students will be required to answer multiple questions. Again, that's the SAQ, right? And I'll just, right there. That's the SAQ format. All right. So what about question 2? Question 2 presents students with a passage in Latin of approximately 7 to 8 lines from the works of Virgil to be read at sight. Sight. No glosses will be provided. So remember, sight does not mean you should translate it. Sight, they want to see if you can comprehend. Can you read the Latin and actually comprehend what's in front of you? A gloss, once again, is the a glossary of words that they think you need to know. They're not going to give that to you. And you're going to be required to answer multiple questions on this. All right. So once again, these are your free response questions that correspond to a short answer question. That's what this is saying here. FRQ 4 and 5, which is basically saying that we're looking at the SAQ format. All right. And the site passage for question 2 is going to be taken from the works of Virgil. I don't know if that's Eclogues, Georgics, or the Aeneid. I'm not sure where they're pulling that from. We don't know. We can only speculate. The point is that they're going to try and find some Latin that they think is going to best simulate the Latin you've already read all year long with Virgil. So dactylic hexameter. So you're probably going to get a scansion question on there, because they're going to want to see if you actually know how to scan, right? And that's also part of those short answer questions. So again, that's going to give you that opportunity. All right. So that pretty much wraps things up. So just to kind of summarize, you have a 25-minute question and a 15-minute question. The 25-minute question is going to have both Virgil and Caesar on there from the syllabus, and you're going to be answering multiple questions based on those passages. Probably going to be grammar, probably going to be vocab, probably going to be some kind of comprehension question, maybe even be translation, because they're expecting you to have translated all those passages as well and know how to translate them. The second question is sight reading. They're expecting that to be comprehension. They're not going to expect you to translate it at sight. They might ask you questions about, just comprehension kind of questions, that kind of thing. They're definitely going to ask you a question about scansion because it's Virgil and you're expected to demonstrate that. So those are what you need to do. Now, in terms of the open note, what we're being told is that it is going to be open note, meaning you can have your notes and your translations with you and you can consult the dictionary. But here's the thing. I'm not sure if an online dictionary will work. We'll kind of get more answers on that moving forward pretty soon, because Whitaker's Words, for example, is pretty easy to use and you can use that. Here's the other problem, though, is that you're limited in your time frame. So if you're looking up every word, trying to translate it in 15 minutes, that's not really what you need to do. You need to be able to, for that second question, you need to be able to demonstrate you can comprehend the Latin. So if you're spending your time looking up every other word or every word, you don't comprehend it. You're not at the comprehension rate anyway. So you're probably going to do poorly on that. So again, the open notes and the online, or the dictionary rather, are there as tools that help you, not as tools for you to cheat in a sense. So I want you to keep that in mind. All right. As always, you know how to find me if you have any other questions, but I'm going to put this up and we're going to kind of detail this a little bit in our coming weeks as we continue our study. Otherwise, walete.